Greetings from Spain. I'm Scott Smith. My wife Marisa and I are missionaries over here. But I was saved, went to high school in Red Bluff, so Red Bluff's basically my hometown. And I'm glad that Red Bluff is going to be coming over here to help us with the evangelism this year. We need the help. Spain is a big country. It's about the size of Texas, about 45 million people here. But less than 0.2% of the population has been born again. That's about 2 out of 1,000 people. In a town like Red Bluff, where there's about 15,000 people, that would mean 30 Christians in the whole town. And in fact, pretty sure there would be no evangelical church of any type, no Baptist, no Assembly of God, nothing in the town of Red Bluff if it were in Spain. Most of the cities and towns of 15,000 or less have no evangelical church at all. So you can see we have a need. We have a need. It's not like the people over here have rejected the gospel. They haven't heard it. And they can't reject something they've never heard before. They haven't heard the simple gospel that if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and you believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you're saved. They haven't heard that yet. Most of the Spaniards have not heard that yet. So here we are. We've dedicated our lives to this, to starting churches, to evangelizing, to doing everything that we can to see that the gospel is preached in this European country. Of all the European countries, and Europe is in deep spiritual need, but of all the European countries, Spain and Austria are the 2 countries that have the most needs. So I'm glad you're coming over to help us. You're going to be coming over in November to do some evangelism. And I want to explain a little bit about how we do the evangelism. An awful lot depends on how you come. If you come prepared to do certain things, then that's the kind of thing we'll do. But I want to start with the goal of evangelism, especially the goal of street evangelism, and that is one-on-one witnessing. There is no substitute for one-on-one witnessing. We do all kinds of things. We've gone door to door. We have handed out thousands and thousands of Light for the Lost tracts. I do a lot of street preaching. I like to preach in the street. But everything really comes down to one-on-one. And that's the goal of everything that we do, is to be able to initiate a conversation about spiritual things with the Spaniard. So when we go to the street, we'll go out there and do different things to draw a crowd, like maybe mime, maybe choreography. We might do some, just giving testimonies. Different people in the team give testimonies. We do music. We've had some good groups that have come from the States. It's much more effective when the music's done in Spanish, but we've had some really good groups that have drawn some good crowds. But the whole point of the whole thing is to see who is listening, because there are going to be people that come and see, and then when there's a testimony given or if there's a short message given, the people will leave. But there will be a group of people that will stay there. And these are the people that God has prepared for that day, for that moment. We need to pray, starting now, for the city of Merida, because it looks like that's where you'll be going, and for the people that are going to be there in November when you are doing your street ministry. Because we want God to send the exact people that need to be there to hear what you have to say, to have hunger on that day, to have time, to be prepared spiritually in every way, so that when the message comes, it falls on good ground. It falls on ground that's going to give 100-fold, rather than stony ground or ground that is shallow. And when there's a little bit of persecution, because there will be in this country, it is not well received by the family when a person becomes a Christian. But we need to pray for these people that are going to be in Merida in November when you're there. So anyway, we do our street evangelism, whether it's the mime, whether it's the choreography, music, whatever it is. We'll do a testimony. I'm hoping that every single person on the team during the time they're here will give their testimony. Marisa and I will be there to translate for you so that the Spaniards will understand what you're saying. But everybody has a testimony. Everybody has a time in their life when they met God, when God changed their life. And that's what the Spaniards need to hear. They need to hear your testimony. I'd like you to work on your testimony. I'd like your testimony to be about 2 minutes. Now, most of you that are listening to this were maybe raised in the church, but that's good, because most of the Spaniards were raised in the church. So they can identify with that much better than some guy who is an AIDS-ridden homosexual drug addict, although there will be those there too. But if you can say, I was raised in the church, my family was a Christian family, but I never really knew God. I went to church and everything, and then there was this crisis in my life. In the 2 to 3 minute testimony, I need to have 3 parts. First is the part, it's maybe a quarter of what you want to say, of what you were like before you became a Christian. Whether you were a good church boy or whether you were, selling drugs. Whatever your life was like, which would be about a quarter of the time. So if we're talking 2 minutes, we're talking about 30 seconds of what your life used to be like. And then the changes in your life come at the end. What Jesus has done for you, how he has changed your life, what you are now. It's the before and after. But in the middle, the minute that is left, the 50% of the time that you're going to be up there, what we need you to explain how you did it. What you said when you prayed. Because people will say, yeah, I understand being raised in the church, or I understand being a drug addict, but how did you make this change? I understand that the changes that were made in your life were exactly what you needed, but how did you make this change? And so what we need to emphasize in this period of time is what happened. Were you in church and there was an altar call and you came forward? What did you say to God when you went forward? What were the words that you used in that time? How did you surrender your life to God? And or you were all by yourself in your bedroom, or you were in your car driving and you were crying in the middle of the night. However you got saved. But the important thing, and the thing that needs to take the minute or the 50% of the time that you're giving your testimony, is how did this happen? Spaniards understand the need and they understand the goal, but how do you get there is what we need to emphasize when we're in the middle of the street giving our testimony. And the way I like to do it is we'll do it in like 7-8 minute spurts. Get up there, do some kind of a mime skit or some choreography or some singing or whatever, and to draw the crowd, then somebody give their testimony, and maybe I'll give a little word at the end, and then we disperse. And the people that have been listening to us for the entire 7 or 8 minutes are people that are obviously interested. And we'll offer them a piece of Light for the Lost literature, or just go up to them and say, well, what do you think about this? And hopefully we'll have enough translators in Merida to be able to help everybody to speak. But then after maybe 15, 20 minutes of one-on-one, then we come back together and we get back on the box or wherever they let us work there in Merida, and we go at it again for another 7, 8, maybe 10 minutes, doing what we can to draw a crowd. And then when the crowd is there, all of us are aware of who is listening, who is staying behind, who is taking the time, even after we mention God and religion and Jesus, who sticks around. And those are the people that God has placed hunger in their hearts, and those are the people that we want to talk to. So all of us need to be aware of what is going on, even if we're not up there giving our testimony or up there doing a skit. All of us need to be aware of who is there, what is going on, and then when the opportunity comes to witness to them. There's also a time thing here, different time schedule, and basically you'll be working like the swing shift, but the swing shift might be from 6 in the evening to 1 in the morning, something like that. So if you work the swing shift, obviously you sleep in the morning. But that's when Spaniards are available, when they're out on the street, especially young kids. Having a bunch of Americans that speak English is a big drawing card, because people here want to practice their English. And everybody in high school, everybody in college has to take English. It's obligatory. So all of them want to practice their English, and that's a good drawing card for us, because you have a bunch of Americans and a lot of them don't speak any Spanish, and people will come just to speak English to you. So be sensitive to the Spirit, see what He wants to do with these people. Maybe the first day you speak to them, you won't say anything, but there's always the goal. We want to speak the Word into their life and give them the opportunity to reject something they may have never had in their life. And hopefully they'll accept, and hopefully we'll bless this small, struggling church in Merida. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have a very good time. I'm looking forward to it a lot. I'm excited about it, and I'm glad to get some emails from some of you saying that you're signing up and you're going to go, and I'm happy for you. This is going to be good, and I hope this is the first of many times, because Marisa and I have 10, 12 teams a year. Some of them are construction, some of them are evangelism. We know how to do this. We've been doing this for 20 years. We'll take good care of you. You don't have to worry about that. But I want you to come spiritually prepared, prayed up, ready to go, and go after it. You don't know anybody in the city of Merida, so why would you be embarrassed? Nobody knows you. It's an opportunity for you to just really let that inner Christian in you, that inner witness, that inner evangelist in you, take off and go for it.